Welcome to another episode of NASCAR Power Rankings, where I will be ranking the top 10 drivers who are in my set of power rankings, give out 2 awards, and as always, we'll be spinning the 5 wheel. Now, I think it went 1 for 2 last week. It cursed Fox's coverage and Joey Logano. Fox's coverage didn't seem like it got cursed. The coverage was pretty alright this week. But obviously Joey Logano, he was doing completely fine at the beginning, and then he caused that big one, which ended up getting him out of the race, and the 5 wheel, I guess, got him. But let me know, do you think that Fox's coverage got cursed as well? Do you think it went 2 for 2? That is something I want you to let me know down in the comments. The first award, again, I'm going to give out is my sleeper of the week. That, for the second week in a row, actually, is going to Ty Gibbs. Gibbs ended up finishing again in 4th. 2 weeks in a row, he's finished 4th. And in my opinion, I think that's a great result for him. I do think that he can easily carry that momentum into Las Vegas. That'll be the real test to see if that consistency will continue, because he got 4th on a road course, Circuit of the Americas, and now 4th on a short track, Phoenix. We'll see if he can maintain that consistency on the ovals, and Las Vegas will be the test, really. But for Ty Gibbs, that's congratulations, and that is a good result. Now, my most cursed award, you probably saw this coming, it's Joey Logano. To all the Joey Logano's fans out there, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I have created this 5 wheel because it has taken its fury out on Joey Logano twice in 3 weeks. So I do want to send out my apology to Joey Logano fans out there, and to Joey Logano as well if he ever sees this video. I do want to just say sorry. It was a great start for Logano. He ended up getting the fastest lap actually out of this race, which is a pretty good bonus point. But obviously he was cursed by the 5 wheel and ultimately got wrecked out of the race. For my number 10, I'm giving that to Christopher Bell. A great result. He dominated the majority of this race. He led more than half the laps, and it was a great run for the majority. But eventually Ryan Blaney did end up getting the win out of Phoenix. But in my opinion, I thought this was a great result for Christopher Bell. He's building that momentum up, and if he can bring that into Vegas, he will easily be higher on the list. So for Christopher Bell and all the Christopher Bell team members out there, great result again, and on to Vegas. At number 9, I have Shane Van Gisbergen. He is staying in the top 10 this week at least. He was down a lap. He was 1 lap down in the 30s early in the race and climbed his way all the way back up to finish just barely outside the top 10, finishing at 11th, and staying 5th in the point standings, which I don't think anyone anticipated him to be that high up the list. I was shocked when he even finished 11th. I mean, the team ended up saying during the week that a top 15 out of Phoenix would be a good result for the team. He finished inside the top 15, almost into the top 10. That at least tells me Shane Van Gisbergen can drive ovals really well now. Honestly, a win could very well be coming for Shane Van Gisbergen on the ovals very soon, maybe as early as this year. And we'll see what he can do in Vegas, but congrats to Shane Van Gisbergen in the 97 team. At number 8, I have Joey Logano. What can I say out of this? He had a very good start. Led a lot of laps at the beginning of the race and a bit into the middle, until the 5 wheel ended up getting him, and he ended up getting wrecked. He wrecked out of the race, finishing, I think it was 33rd, if I'm not mistaken. it was very good at the start, as I mentioned before, but for Joey Logano, it was a great result at the start, but not the result you want in the end. He did end up getting the fastest lap out of the race, so he did get a bonus point because of that, and that's why he has gone down on the list a few positions, because he had a great start, but ultimately wrecked out of the race. At number 7, I have William Byron. Pretty decent result. He was pretty much up the front, pretty much what seemed like the entire race. Just quietly there, staying within the top 10 for a while. And just a great result for William Byron, a solid result. Just quietly continue to gain points. And we'll see what William Byron and the 24 team can do heading into Vegas. At number 6, I have Kyle Larson. He pretty much maintained being up the front pretty much what seemed like the entire race. He was up the front constantly, ended up finishing 3rd, and got a lot of points out of the weekend. So for me, it was no question that being that high up in the field, pretty much what seemed like the entire race, deserved him to get that jump up my rankings, and that is why he is my number 6. At number 5, I have Bubba Wallace. It was a pretty decent result for Bubba Wallace. He ended up finishing 6th out of this race, but kind of just maintaining inside and a bit outside the top 10, and there were drivers that were under him last week that did way better this week than Bubba Wallace, and he ended up dropping a position down, but it was Ryan Blaney who's now in 2nd after his win in Phoenix, but no discredit to Bubba Wallace and the 23 team. They did what they needed to do, get a solid result, and now they can go into Phoenix and fight for a win there. At number 4, I have Chase Elliott. Moved down a couple positions from my power rankings. He ended up finishing outside the top 20. Not a great result for Chase Elliott, but he was up in the mid-pack top 10, top 15 area for the majority of the race, but eventually dropped down outside the top 20. Pretty decent towards the start and middle, and then just kind of went down the order as the final stage of the race drew on. So that's why Chase Elliott is now down on the list, and that is why he is my number 4. At number 3, I have Denny Hamlin. A great result for Denny Hamlin, constantly up the front, finished in the top 5, finishing exactly 5th. A great result for Denny Hamlin, and just a good, solid result, and ended up finishing in the top 5. Good points, solid amount of points, and that's why he is my number 3. At number 2, I have Ryan Blaney. Unbelievable drive from Ryan Blaney, really. That's pretty much all you can say from this race. He kept driving. It seemed like at the start of the race, at least for me, he was going to be a threat, and he was probably the favorite to win this race after seeing what he did in stage 1. It seems like he's very good at Phoenix anyway, and he's always a threat, similar to Van Gisbergen on any road course. Larson at Vegas and Kansas. It seems like these certain tracks fit these certain types of drivers. And to me, Phoenix seems like Blaney's favorite track, at least based off the results. And that's why Blaney is my number 2, a great result and a great win. And finally, at number 1, I have Tyler Reddick, maintaining his number 1 spot. Tyler Reddick did a very good job maintaining a pretty decent result for the 2311 team, and just a pretty average result. And again, maintaining his number 1 spot and that is why he has stayed number 1 in my power rankings for yet another week. Now, we get to spin the 5-wheel once again. As you can see, the 5-wheel is back, potential to cause more chaos. Let's give it a spin. I gave it a really good spin this time. We'll see. Who is it selecting? Number 3. Denny Hamlin. No. 5-wheel, you are cursing Denny Hamlin. Well, the wheel has spoken. Apparently Denny Hamlin is going to be cursed this week by the 5-wheel. We'll see. Does Denny Hamlin get cursed by the 5-wheel? We'll see. And I'll see if Denny Hamlin gets cursed by the 5-wheel. Make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you for another week of Power Rankings next week.